Hello and welcome to our latest video summary of the week's news, brought to you by Estate Agent Today and Letting Agent Today. Unusually, the biggest story this week was around the letting sector and the ongoing efforts to outlaw what has become known as retaliatory or revenge evictions. These are when landlords evict tenants simply because they request for basic repairs to be completed. Just about every responsible section of the lettings industry is strongly opposed to landlords who do such things. But there is considerable concern about the proposals that on Wednesday evening were agreed by the House of Lords and now look likely to become law this summer. In essence, the new measure means it will become much more difficult to evict a tenant within 6 months of a landlord receiving an improvement or hazard awareness notice. When a tenant complains and alleges a revenge eviction has taken place, the local council must contact the landlord to resolve the problem. And if nothing is done, the council then serves a statutory notice on the landlord. Most letting agents and landlords are responsible and will not find themselves in this position. But the question is, does this new law allow vexatious tenants the right to delay what would actually be completely legitimate evictions because the landlord wants to regain possession of a property for whatever reason? The Residential Landlords Association believes so, and this week made the case that it expressed concern at similar proposals now likely to become law in Wales. Under the Welsh Government's proposals, there will be new longer-term contracts, and 16 and 17-year-olds will be able to rent their own properties, and revenge evictions will be outlawed, with similar provisions to those agreed by the Lords for England. The RLA says that these set of proposals, if they become law in Wales, would become a lawyer's charter, with the main people to benefit being antisocial and non-rent paying tenants. This debate is only one part of a deep-rooted reassessment of the private rented sector, which will play out during the election campaign and for the rest of 2015. Letting Agent Today will follow the story closely every step of the way. Elsewhere in the agency world, the war of words between property portals continued apace this week. Zoopla insisted that OnTheMarket was still receiving very low numbers of visitors, apparently only 194,000 in its first 2 weeks, compared to almost 19 million visits to Zoopla in the same period. Then research by Estate Agent Today revealed that several of the high-end estate agents that founded OnTheMarket appeared to be flouting their own rule and are still advertising properties on more than one other portal. This saga shows no sign of slowing down. Watch this space for more news in the weeks to come. There was also an interesting story about iProperty, another portal which allows private sellers and new build homes, but actually bans estate agents from advertising their stock to sell. The independent network of estate agents has complained that iProperty is ironically operating as an estate agent in its own right because of how it advertises homes for sale. Therefore, it is actually falling foul of the law by not being in one of the 3 mandatory redress schemes. Other stories this week included a Barclays Bank executive becoming Chief Operating Officer of Marsh & Parsons, and 2 key appointments for online letting agency Rentify, coming from tech giants Samsung and Google. And still on the technology front, we carried a progress report on Veo. That's the portal set to launch in the spring, which will allow conveyancers to put information about property transactions online. In theory, this should make the process quicker and perhaps even cheaper. And finally, something definitely not to do with technology, a case of going back to the future, with the reappearance of the straw bale house. 7 straw bale houses are going on the open market in Bristol in the next few days for between £220,000 and £240,000. That's good value in a market like Bristol, and surprising given that those who designed them claim they may save their owners over 80% of the traditional heating bill of a conventional home. What we want to know is, will these homes eventually carry a premium for their fantastic energy-saving qualities? Time will tell, but for now we need to bail out and make hay while the sun shines. We'll be back next week with another video summary, but until then, remember to keep in touch with news from the industry every day on Estate Agent Today and Letting Agent Today. Thanks for watching, see you next time.